I'm going to address something that I see a lot of men struggling with. This is a polarizing subject, and I'm making this video for every guy out there who has been burned by a woman. Every guy that's been mistreated, manipulated, emotionally or physically abused, cheated on. She took the house, she took the kids, she took you to court, she ruined your life. Anything from, just a minor short-term girlfriend that really screwed you somehow, all the way to the wife that ruined your family. Everyone in between, okay? This video is for you guys. I want you to know I'm making this video from a place of empathy. I too have been burned by several women that I was in relationships with, even in love with, and I've been burned in quite a few different ways. And I don't want to make this video about me. I'm only saying that, because I want you to know that I truly do empathize. I'm not making this video from like this blue pill point of naive hope where the whole world is like rainbows and butterflies. That's not me, man. I'd like to call myself like a realistic optimist. Now, let's just get into the meat of it. The first thing I want to tell you guys, I want to preface with a disclaimer here. At no point am I trying to excuse any of the terrible behavior that men have encountered on behalf of women they've been with in relationships, or even just women they've approached at the bar. Like, I've dealt with some crazy girls. Like, I approached this one girl at a bar one time on St. Patrick's Day, and after 2 seconds, she interrupted me. She goes, "Stop talking, and you need to leave and don't come back until you've had braces." Like, that's just a girl I literally just met, and that was devastating at that time. And then I've also, I've been cheated on. I found out while I was backpacking in Colombia with my ex-girlfriend that she was messaging back and forth with her ex saying, I miss you and I love you and I can't wait to see you when I get home, okay? And I was stuck in Colombia with that girl for another week. Couldn't go home. That was brutal. And those are just a couple instances. There have been others. I've even seen infidelity by members of my own family. Guys, I'm not excusing any of that bad behavior, but there's a truth that we need to acknowledge here, because a lot of you are bitter. A lot of you come into the comments and, basically anybody that has any type of advice that could say, hey, men have to have some ownership over the success or failure of a relationship. Anytime anyone asks the men to take any accountability, some of you guys really freak out. And I know why. It's coming from a place of pain. It's coming from a place of cynicism. I've been there before. So again, I really want to emphasize that, like, there is a large part of me that, like, my heart truly goes out to you guys, man. Like, I'm not talking down to you guys. I'm not trying to tell you that your experience is like somehow rare, or that you guys are seeing things, the wrong way. I don't know if you're seeing the whole picture. So the main message here I want to convey is that for a lot of you, not all of you, okay, because there's exceptions to every rule, I would say for the most part, there was some responsibility in the way you got burned, okay? And it could go all the way to the beginning of just picking the wrong partner, ignoring red flags, allowing the relationship dynamic between you and the woman to get out of control, allowing the relationship dynamic to get to a place where it was no longer healthy, and then you not doing anything to correct it. There are a million different variables, and I think men realistically are in need of someone telling them, yes, the girl was terrible. Yes, she did terrible things that are inexcusable, but can we have a nuanced conversation here? And anytime we have one of these polarizing conversations, whether it's about politics or anything that gets like an emotional charge out of people want to make it black and white. They don't want to talk about the different angles and the nuances of how all of this stuff plays out, okay? The perfect example, one of my close friends for a long time, he ended up with this girl that, like, very early on, all of us were telling him, like, dude, that's a bad chick. Like, she's manipulative, she's controlling. She didn't even want him hanging out with us, right? Like, he was rarely even allowed to see me at a certain point because his girl knew that I was gonna give it to him real about what I thought about her. And she didn't want him hearing any of that from his friends, right? She literally got to the point where she, like, isolated him away from everybody that he grew up with and that cared about him. And, sadly, she ended up doing him very dirty, cheated on him multiple times, took his house, took custody of his kid. Like, it was a really bad sitch. But also, this guy was and still is to this day, a very weak man. Very weak man. Weak socially, weak competitively, weak ambitiously and professionally, weak emotionally, weak mentally, like in every way imaginable. Now, he had a heart of gold. Nicest guy ever. but a weak man, truly. The reason that's worth mentioning is because in my experience, from every guy I've seen that's been truly hurt or taken advantage of or manipulated or burnt, most of the time it is a weak man who ends up with an evil woman, because strong men are not attracted to these type of women, and those type of women are not attracted to strong men, because those type of women, these evil soul-sucking women, they want to be with men that they can control, with men that they can win against. They want to be able to put their thumb on you and play puppet master. And guys like me, my good friends, many of which were like D1 athletes and successful business owners and true alpha males, like those type of men just simply aren't dating or marrying those type of women. And so if you are one of these men who has been burned, maybe every single relationship you've been in went the same way. Maybe you're constantly getting taken advantage of, constantly getting cheated on. Like at a certain point, you have to stop and ask yourself, like, is there any accountability that I need to be taking here? Is there anything I could have done differently? A lot of you guys are not having that conversation within yourselves. A lot of you guys are playing the victim. A lot of you guys are playing the blame game. And for that reason, you will never improve. You'll never adjust. And then you're never going to get the results you want romantically. And maybe this has happened enough times where you've already given up. You've already come to the conclusion that every woman was this way. But can I just beg you to ask the question just once, if you haven't already? Is it possible that you were attracting the same type of woman over and over again, the same type of terrible woman over and over again, based on the decision making and the actions of yourself? Is that possible at all? Again, don't confuse this for me excusing the behavior of these type of women. That's not it. But there is potential for many of you, if not the majority of you, that your own decision making and how you picked partners, that your own decision making and how you navigated the relationship dynamics led to you getting burned. Not saying these are good women, just hitting you with the truth, man. Strong men and evil women are like oil and water. They just don't mix. I've never once been in a relationship with a truly manipulative woman. I've been in a relationship with women that have cheated and lied, but like getting cheated on and lied to is not enough for like your average man or average woman to just like give up on relationships. Like for those of you guys that have given up, that are writing women off, that hate women, that are truly angry, like you went through some shit, man. You went through some real bad stuff. Again, my heart goes out to you. You only go through that if you're with a truly terrible partner. And part of me really wants you to know that there were probably signs. There were probably moments where you could have pulled the plug on that. There were probably moments where the true colors were revealed and you turned a blind eye. I've seen guys do it just based on pure attraction. I've seen guys literally date demons, but they were the hottest girl that guy had ever been with in his life. He was way out of his range as far as how attractive the girl was, and so they accepted all of her bullshit because she was so hot. Is that you? Is it possible you've ever done that? I mean, these are important questions to ask yourself. I know that I'm gonna get pushed back on this video, you know, assuming that the algorithm pushes it and you guys engage with it. You know, I know that there's potential that some of you are gonna get angry, that you're gonna tell me I'm wrong. I don't know how many times I can repeat myself. I'm not excusing, you know, cruel female behavior. I'm not rationalizing or justifying it, but I am saying that unless you guys are able to own some of it, unless you're able to identify what you could have done differently to avoid ending up with that type of partner, to avoid letting the relationship dynamic develop the way it did. Like if you never look internally, you're never gonna improve. Your circumstances are never gonna change. It's like the friend that like gets in a fight with everyone in the friend group year after year. They're always having some type of blow up and they think everyone's against them. And it's like, dude, are you sure it's not you? Is it really everybody else? Is it really the whole world? Or is it you? Is there anything you could be doing differently? Right? That's a tough pill to swallow, man. That's a hard truth to hear. And I do feel for you guys because these are conversations most of us have had to have. And if you've been avoiding this conversation, it's a hard one to have internally. It truly is. But, you know, as with many of these videos, if this got through to just one of you, if this made a positive impact for just one of you, then it was worth it. My name is KJ Harlow. I do want to say thank you to all of you that have been subscribing. The channel has been really gaining a lot of traction. I appreciate you. If you found this helpful, please subscribe. It means a lot. It helps me keep making these videos, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.